Hello there, everybody. All right, scams circulate as the income tax filing deadline approaches 1 week away from today. Plus, the master gardeners prepare for their spring plant sale, and the Stock the Pantry full drive. Let me try that again. The Stock the Pantry food drive is in full swing. That's easy for me to say, but stick around. It's time for News 5 now.
Brought to you by Green and Phillips, covering news from your neighborhood and around the world. News 5 Now starts right now.
Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us for News 5 Now. I'm Akivia McFarland. Thank you so much for joining us. Every day we get together, we talk about the big stories that we are following for you so far today. We talk about the big stories. We see how you voted in our Facebook poll and see how you responded to our question of the day as well. And we've got lots in store. So let's go ahead and jump in and get started with the big stories we're following for you right now, beginning with number 5. Our Stock the Pantry food drive in full swing. You can help make sure children on the Gulf Coast don't go hungry this summer. And of course, we have several sponsored locations that you can drop those donations off to all over the Gulf Coast. And so what we're looking for are those pop-top meals, fruit squeezes and applesauce, things like that, peanut butter, granola bars, cereal, things that children can easily prepare on their own when they're, having to tend to themselves during those summer months. So please be a help and donate to our Stock the Pantry food drive. We'll be accepting donations through April 30th. We can't wait to see you guys show up like you do every single year. Number 4, the waves out on the beaches are looking a bit rough, which might put a damper on some plans for spring breakers. Winds will pick up from the east today, which will kick up the surf. We have several alerts in place through Thursday. A high risk for rip currents, a high surf advisory for 4 to 6 foot breaking waves in the surf zone, a small craft advisory for mainly near shore waters, and a gale warning for offshore waters. And of course, stay tuned to our first alert storm team for all that you need to know about what's happening in our coast. And if you're going to be traveling to our beaches for spring break, please be advised, be cautious, know what those flags mean. Enjoy yourself, but be careful. Number 3. For many, springtime means it's time to break out the green thumb. Well, the Baldwin County Master Gardeners want to help you get a leg up with their big spring plant sale. The big spring plant sale is tomorrow to Saturday from 9 to 4. It's off Highway 98 in Fairhope, selling herbs, plants, shrubs, and much more. It's across from the Weeks Bay Reserve, to be specific. If you'd like to learn more about this event, head on over to our website, wkrg.com, for all the information that you need. Number 2, a woman is trying to pick up the pieces after a fire destroyed her home in Citronelle. The cause of that fire is under investigation. That did happen over Easter weekend. It happened that Saturday when Taylor Lawrence was out celebrating Easter. And now she's staying with friends, and she was able to get some clothes, but as you can see, her entire home was destroyed. And right now she's working to raise money to help so she can rebuild and continue living on the land that she's always called home for the vast majority of her life. So we are praying for her, and we wish her all the best in her plans to rebuild and get her home back in good shape. And number 1, the income tax filing deadline is approaching. While some rush to meet that deadline, scammers are working hard to take advantage. And so here are a few common tax scams to watch out for. We're talking about IRS impersonation, tax identity theft, IRS email phishing, and tax preparer scams. We're talking about those ghost preparers. They want to file, but then they won't tell you who they are, things like that. So if it seems fishy, if it seems off to you, it probably is. So just make sure you're aware of that. And how do you want to avoid becoming a victim of one of those scams? Make sure you file as early as you can. At this point, this is as early as you can do it, right? If you haven't already, we have a week to go. So if you haven't knocked it out, and if you can today, go ahead and knock those out today. Use your IRS identity protection PIN. Be cautious, of course. Check those websites carefully. Make sure you're on trusted websites websites only to prepare your taxes and verify the credentials of your tax preparer to make sure they're legitimate as well. So make sure you're watching out for that. But also, we want to take you on over and check on that Artemis 2 mission. Let's see. This is where we're supposed to be. Hold on, let's get on the right screen. We're jumping ahead and we're not quite there on that screen yet. This is where we need to be, taking a live look at that mission, and the Artemis 2 expected to splash down off the coast of San Diego at 5:07 on Friday. And as you know, this was a historic launch and a historic trip for NASA, the Artemis 2, making that trip around the dark side of the moon, and they've sent back some amazing pictures. I hope you have a chance to get to see those, but they are on their way back to Earth, and we are praying for their safe arrival, their safe re-entry back into Earth, and so we'll be keeping an eye on this step by step, so make sure you're sticking with us. So guys, thank you. Those are the big stories that we are following for you right now, but now, it's time to go on over to that other screen we were looking at and get into your question of the day and the Facebook poll too. Let's go ahead and start with that question of the day. We want to know, it's National No Housework Day. What's your least favorite chore? Now, no one told me it was No Housework Day. I'm a new mom, so it almost seems like no day is ever no housework day. But since it's no housework day, I might just take advantage of this so-called day. But let's go ahead and see how you guys answered the question, what's your least favorite chore? I think mine is laundry. As of late, it's laundry. I've never really liked laundry, but it's worse than ever. Okay, and right at the top, Allison feels me. She says, I love cleaning my house, especially, well, actually, no. She says she loves doing laundry. Sorry, Allison, I jumped the gun there. I thought you felt me. I can't stand doing laundry, but I'm glad you do. She wants someone else to do the dusting. Dusting is tedious, right? It's just every little thing, your blinds, your surfaces, your fans, the window seals. It's very tedious. So I do feel you on that. But laundry, Allison, you can do my laundry if you'd like. I'll sign you up if you'd like to do it. All right, let's see what else is being said out there. Jenny wants to know the same thing I want to know. Where was the memo earlier? We need to know about these things in advance, not the day of. We need to know like a week, even a month out, right? So we can be prepared for such a monumental day, such as doing no housework. We need to know sooner. Let's prepare to do that sooner next year, right? Let's see. I've got lots of votes for dishes. Dishes. Like, of course, dishes are something that most people don't care to do. So we're going to keep an eye on that. All right, guys. So also, let's see how you voted in our Facebook poll, too. Let me actually click through this correctly. Now we want to see how you voted in our Facebook poll. Should athletes have to graduate before being drafted to professional sports? And it looks like most people are saying yes to this. Yes, most people are saying yes, some saying no, and a few with no opinion. So guys, thank you so much for participating in our question of the day and our Facebook poll. But now I got to send you on over to do a little bit of homework, guys. Make sure you give our Facebook page a thumbs up. Show us some love if you have not already, and make sure you're prepared to answer our next question of the day in our next Facebook poll too, and that way you can come right back here and be a part of this conversation. So guys, thank you so much for joining us for News 5 Now. We do enjoy you being here with us to talk about all that we have going on, but make sure you are tuned in to WKRG News 5. That way, when the 4 o'clock show rolls around, you'll be right where you need to be to continue keeping up with the big stories that we have for you, and you don't want to miss what's in store. So guys, thank you so much for joining us, and as always, have a wonderful day.
Covering news from your neighborhood and around the world. You're watching News 5 Now, brought to you by Green & Phillips.